Happy Odin's Day. Happy New Rune Day. I want to begin this video by responding in some respects with the rune I have been working with. I've ended up being with it for a week longer than I intended, mainly because last week I was ill, and really the effects being ill had with the rune I was working with. Obviously I had been working with algaes, which is a rune of protection, and last week both myself and my wife were off work because we were quite ill, her in particular, with COVID, and I was connected to algaes, and obviously I've had time to reflect on whether that assisted me or not, and to some extent I have to conclude that it did. And this is where, I mean, it's not that it protected me from getting COVID, because I got it. It's the fact that my wife suffered badly with it. I mean, she is diabetic, so that is a contributing factor, I'm sure. I suffered differently, and I mean, I can say in some respects I didn't suffer as badly. I just suffered differently, and I can't help but conclude that algaes offered some protection from it, but with some, I guess, wisdom, or just sort of, I don't know, keeping ourselves safe. Obviously we got through it, and I can't overlook the contribution that algaes probably brought to my dealing with it. So obviously, I mean, it's New Rune Day, and it's a case of giving thanks to algaes for seeing me through this, disconnecting from it later, and working with a new rune. And so really, over the period of being ill, missed a couple of, I don't know, milestones. One very personal in terms of my journey, and what brought me to this journey was one of those milestones that I kind of had to not overlook or dismiss as just sort of dealing with other things, so that it's just, there's no disrespect being offered to the gods, or to Odin in particular. It's more a case of I wasn't in the best of conditions to sort of make a song and dance of it. And I suppose really it's one of those things that highlights that sometimes the most important thing to draw on is what's in your heart is the most important thing, and they're the things that the gods recognize more than anything you might say in a social environment, whether it's to other people, within your family, or on social media. And I think the other thing that's probably highlighting my choice for the new rune to work with is the fact that while it's still quite cold, and I can't overlook also that we've been ill probably the for the sort of the strongest part of winter that's now sort of passing, with the possibility or the thought of spring on its way. Spring is awakening, the day is returning. That really one of the core sort of sayings I have from experiences with the gods and that is that better days will return. They are returning, and that my new rune to work with for this week will be Dagaz. It just seems to be fitting. It is on my mind a little bit that better days are returning in terms of the weather, the seasons, as they should do, must do. But also, I think socially, the world looks like it is getting bleaker and bleaker, and I have to hold to the message that better days will return, and that we have to be the agents of that in some way or another. So it's just really repeating that as a mantra and seeing how any of us can make that manifest, rather than just sort of hoping that people that should have better moral integrity just decide to do one, and we can have a better society. And really, with the imminent return of spring brings hope, and gotta hold on to hope and see what happens. So, new rune day, Dagaz. Thank you to Algaes for its protection, and I don't want to dwell on Jackson Crawford's statements about the runes. I disagree with his statement, but I'm not really interested in getting into any sort of debate about that at the moment. For one thing, I need to watch his video rather than just go by what he has said and how other people have reacted. So, thank you for listening. Do take care. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.